Welcome to the TrotCast Revolution. I am your host, Jay Hochstetler, and I am joined by...
Oh, always Ryan Macedonio. Jay, how you doing?
I'm good. It's post-Super Bowl hangover. I didn't have a team in it, so I'm not that hungover, so I'm happy.
Me either. My Titans and my Bengals got eliminated way early on. Yeah, I'm a Titans fan. Deal with it. It's what happens when you move to a city, and I live 5 minutes from the stadium. So for anybody that's calling me a bandwagon jumper, suck it. How about that? That's how we start off the revolution, right?
Yeah, just all of you can suck it.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. I'm a Saints fan, so technically the Super Bowl was played between the Saints and Panthers several weeks ago, and we won. It was a great Super Bowl. I enjoyed it. And the rest were scrimmages. I really enjoyed all the other scrimmages. They were very nice.
Oh, I like your hot take on that one. But I didn't even know that the Super Bowl was played 4 weeks ago.
Yeah, some people forget these things.
Listen, I'm glad that you're here to enlighten us, Jay. Is there anything else you want to enlighten us on before we get to this first topic?
No, that's the enlightenment everybody needed. Just
okay.
Super Bowl champion Saints.
Let's jump right into the main topic. Sound good, Jay?
Yeah.
You want to take it away, or you want me?
It's your baby. Go at it.
I think this is going to be. This may be. I don't want to say the death, but it's certainly going to be like 7 nails in the coffin. How many nails are there in a coffin, Jay? I mean, is there like 30? Is there an exact number? Is there 1 nail in the coffin? Do you know how many nails there are?
Let's see. I'm Googling it now.
Okay. Google. What
how
what
many
does Google
nails
say?
is there? All right. There is not a quick answer. So
There's
you know
not
what?
a quick answer. All right. So
I'm gonna go with 69. That's.
Yes, Jay. So this is like I'm gonna say this is probably like 32 nails in the 69 nails that it takes to nail in a coffin. Is that's about a good estimate, right?
That's fair. Yeah.
So the NBA is taking a gamble on sports betting. See what it did there, Jay?
Yeah.
Taking a gamble. So basically, for anybody that doesn't know, Adam Silver, the commish of the NBA. Who, by the way, Adam Silver looks like a nurse in an old nursing home.
Yeah.
And he also looks like he would peel off his human skin to reveal a lizard underneath it. That's what Adam Silver looks like.
Accurate.
Yes, but anyway, so the NBA is going to try. They're going to become the main investor on getting basically sports betting legalized. And the way that they want to do it is they want to have it pretty much everywhere in the arena on your mobile phone. This is the final kind of form that they want to see it in. So you could be sitting in the arena watching an NBA game on your phone, and boom, you could place a bet. And I don't know, and I think they obviously want to have halftime bets, quarter period bets. So they want you to keep betting on stuff. They want you quick action. They want multiple stuff. So that stuff is down the road. But overall, they're trying to lift the 1992 federal gambling ban. And I think that this really relates to harness racing in a lot of ways. And it's not good. None of it is good for harness racing if the NBA can get this passed. So what were your first initial thoughts on this, Jay?
So yeah, it's going to be a huge deal, and it's going to happen. This is going to happen. I don't know how long it'll take, but eventually, sports betting is going to be legal across the United States, and it's going to be readily accessible. Technically, you can sports gamble now, but there's a lot of hurdles to go through. You got to go through offshore wagering websites, and they're kind of a pain in the ass to deal with. And anybody who's not super wanting to do it is going to be chased away from it. But if they get this done, and it's as accessible as a FanDuel or DraftKings thing is, everybody's going to do it. They're all going to just jump in on it because it's going to be super easy. You credit card, bang, boom, you're in, and it's super legit and everything like that. And a lot of people jump in on it because it's just fun. Throw $5 on your team to win tonight on the over, the under, whatever you want to do. And the accessibility is going to be the scariest thing for anybody who's currently in the gambling business. Because if you can just have people sitting at home betting on stuff they already love to watch without having any money incentive on it, you're in trouble. Because right now, harness racing relies on people who just like to bet on it for money because we don't have a very good fan base. So now you're going to really struggle to get people to just be fans because they have so many other more gambling options. And we've complained for years about how the death of harness racing was casinos and online poker and all this stuff like that. Well, now it's going to be bigger and better than ever, and the competition is going to be doubled practically because this is going to be the biggest gambling business in the country.
Always be Mickey, just toying with the field.
Mickey is motoring home to a magnificent finale.
What a race! Always be Mickey on the outside. Always be Mickey.
Heading down to the line, always be Mickey in 1:46 world record.
I'm not worried about losing anybody that bets on harness racing because it's been proven that they're not going anywhere. They're there for a reason. People that bet on horse racing. And I'm not even talking about harness racing. This is horse racing stuff.
Oh, yeah.
I'm talking about people our age. We need the next generation to go, that are going to be around betting for 20, 30 years. And right now the options are, like you said, it's kind of difficult to bet offshore, blah, blah, blah. I don't really know that area, so I don't know how difficult it is. Getting your money, betting, how much takeout is, all that stuff like that. But now you're shoving it in my face, and it's going to be real tough for a lot of younger fans who, like you said, are already watching the product, already involved in fantasy, whether it's in a league or a DraftKings kind of quick thing, fantasy sports. Now you're directly betting. There's no fantasy. I think people dislike fantasy for betting because of the simple fact that there's no... there's too much mayhem and too much chaos. But now, if I feel like all I got to do is pick the winner of a game, yeah, that's something that I feel I would wager money on. I wouldn't necessarily wager money on, is Steph Curry going to have 38 points or not? But wagering on wins or losses of a team, I think I could, even for me as a non-person who gambles, that's something I could bid in. And you're making it easy on my phone, wherever I am. Yeah, I'm kind of all in on that, Jay.
Yeah, just the pure easiness of it is what's going to be. You don't even have anybody. Everybody thinks they're a genius when they go to see games. They may not want to go into all the research it takes to build a fantasy team or build a daily fantasy team where you have to see, well, who's got a good match tonight? I got to have these guys at these prices and all this stuff that takes time. This would be, okay, the Cavaliers are playing the Pistons tonight, and I am pretty positive that the Cavaliers are going to win or they're going to cover the spread, whatever. And bang, boom, I had it right on my phone, pull it up, bet, done. And that's simple. Anybody can do that. You don't have to be any type of expert in sports to do that, and it's going to be super easy. Flip to harness racing where it's not easy to make a bet. You have to have the program. You have to know the horses. You have to do all that stuff because they're not familiar with it. So that they're already just going to beat your brains out just by having familiarity and accessibility. And the NBA is going to be at the forefront of it, and they're already prepared and everything. And this is going to kind of play into something we said a lot of times is just copy what all the successful businesses do. Well, this is a little different. Harness racing is now going to have to be, we have to get out ahead of everybody because a storm's coming and we have to be ready for it. And we can't, they're not going to be able to be reactionary anymore because reactionary is going to lead to death.
Well, here's where I think harness racing needs to pivot. And this is something we're always yelling about. The NBA, Major League Baseball, NFL, all of these major sports did not have legalized betting at all, right? You couldn't, they do not make any of their money. The NFL does not receive any of its money from revenue, of gambling. Now you could say, legal, shut the hell up. None of their revenue, that's all to Vegas, that's all to the bookies, that's all to everybody else. Yes, it's popular because of gambling. That's not disputable. People watch football and NBA and baseball because of gambling. That I won't dispute with. But how did the NFL make all of this money over the years without gambling? It's because they cashed in on TV contracts, on advertising, on merchandising, on sponsorship, all the things that real money actually generates for your league. And harness racing has completely failed on that. Now, harness racing has made all of its money off of gambling revenue, and now all that money is going to be virtually taken away from you. So now you're going to have to pivot and figure out, how are we going to get people to watch our product, and how are we going to sell advertising and merchandising and sponsorships and connect to the fans? Because that's what the NBA, NFL, MLB have been doing for 100 years, and they didn't have gambling money. Now they're going to grab our gambling money, and we don't have any foundation of marketing, sponsorship, advertising, and we're going to lose our gambling revenue. How are we going to survive, Jay?
Yeah, and there is an example of this. You look across the Atlantic Ocean. France and Sweden have legal sports gambling, and sports are popular. They love their soccer. They love hockey in Sweden, stuff like that. And harness racing is way better there than it is in America. But that's because they have a good business plan. They have a fandom. They have consistently great events and good racing, and they check all the boxes in terms of doing things the right way. Things that American harness racing doesn't do. We don't have very good cameras. We don't have good branding of our horses. We don't have good branding of our tracks, of our drivers. We don't have large fields of competitive races and all different types of wagers that come with that. And that's where they were at the forefront. And they, like, for example, in Sweden, they kind of made it into, they have the lottery, the V76 and stuff like that, where they have a lot more betting options because they were ahead of everybody, and they got that done. And once again, harness racing in America is going to be in a position of, we're behind on the times. If we don't hurry up and get ahead of them, we're screwed. We're done. But if this all gets involved and it gets passed, and the NBA and the NFL all jump in on this, and then you react to it, it's going to be too late. And I don't care if all of a sudden a bunch of marketing money got put into everything that it needs to, it's going to be too late.
Well, here's one thing too, is, and I've always heard how, we're parimutuel betting versus where, Vegas, you're betting against the house. So here was an interesting, Patrick Everson. Here was an interesting, I guess he covers Vegas, and he's more in tune about this than you or I will ever be. So here's one of the things he said. He said in 2016, and the 2017 numbers are due out soon, total sportsbook handle in Nevada was 4.5 billion. Okay. Now, I don't know if that covers, that's all sports. So we don't have the breakdown of each of an individual sport. Out of that, the books hold, so the handle was 4.5 billion. Out of that, the books hold or profit was 219.2 million. So the books percentage hold of the total handle was 4.87%, Jay. 4.87 takeout, essentially, for Vegas. If you placed a bet in Vegas on a sports team, your takeout was 4.87. Jay, what's our takeout in harness racing?
Basically ranging anywhere from 15 to 30%. 33% now at Chester, because they're really smart there.
Now, all I ever hear is how if you lower the takeout, you can't make money. And yeah, maybe that's true. Because we've put ourselves in such a hole. How the hell is Vegas able to do a 4.87 takeout?
They just developed this wonderful idea that if we just have lots and lots of people betting, it makes up all we'll just be able to take a small percentage of it instead of having a few people betting and taking a big percentage of it. It's this wild concept that for some reason harness racing cannot grasp.
Diamond Creek Farm presents Southwind Frank, a force of nature who tore through the 2-year-old ranks and left a lasting impression on everything in his path.
It's all Southwind Frank, 2.5 lengths in front. Southwind Frank wins the Breeders' Crown.
Southwind Frank is powering past on the outside. Southwind Frank wrapped up in the first Dancer division.
With the wind at your back, there's no limit to how far you can go. Southwind Frank, standing at Diamond Creek Farm.
Now here's the other thing too, is the NBA, for kind of pushing the legislation and being the back behind it, and they're doing research. They want to have, part of them being behind it is they're going to have like a fee.
They want to take a percent, like 1%. It's called integrity fee.
Integrity fee, that's right. Now, let's just say they want 1% of all handle. So that would be $44 million. That's what they would get off of or $45 million of the money bet. Well, we don't know if it's 1% of NBA bets or 1% of total bets. I would imagine that whatever it is, it doesn't matter. But, the sportsbooks are going to be like, yeah, you know what? We're not giving up our thing. So even if the NBA added a percentage and their takeout rate was 5.87 instead of 4.87, that's still a fantastic takeout rate. And I don't think that many gamblers are going to complain about that. Did I explain that right, Jay?
Yeah, I couldn't see why they would. It's still a very, very reasonable rate. I'm sure you'd find some people that have a critique of that. By all means, enlighten me on it, because I don't have the knowledge to say that that's wrong, because it's just from a kind of a half-assed knowledgeable person on sports betting and stuff. I can't see where that would be a problem.
You're talking 6% takeout rate if the NBA gets their cut and sportsbooks don't want to give up any. Because why would they give up? Now maybe their take gets bigger because it's legalized everywhere, or maybe it goes down. I don't know what the fight would be or what it ends up being, but the same thing is you're having a lower takeout rate to bet on NBA games, and it's going to be more available, and it's not going to be NBA, it's going to be NFL, it's going to be everything. Now I don't expect this to be legalized in Alabama or Arizona, but there's going to be 10 states where it's going to be huge. It's going to be legalized in LA or in California, New York, and Pennsylvania.
New York is already ready to just enact this immediately when it gets resolved. When the Supreme Court makes their decision in the favor of gambling, New York already has the legislation wrote up.
When the NFL season rolls around next year, right, in September, they're saying that this could be implemented by September. There is no actual infrastructure you have to do. You could just do some kiosks at a stadium. Everything will be app based through your phone. There's no physical infrastructure. So this isn't 10 years down the line. No, harness racing. This is September. You got 6 months to get your shit together and figure out how are we going to not lose people to NBA, because who knows, maybe the harness racing people who are betting it are going to realize, oh wait, lower takeout, it's easier to bet, it's more convenient, and I know a little bit more about the NBA and the NFL, I'll just bet that. So you're losing people, and on top of the fact you're not gaining anybody, because again, who's going to bet harness racing here?
We already have enough problems trying to attract new people, and now that they're going to have something that's far easier, far more familiar, the hurdle just got 10 feet higher to try to jump to accomplish new fans. I mean, it's going to, in my opinion, harness is going to need to morph more towards just getting people physically to the track, and many tracks have a long way to go to getting that accomplished. You need to become kind of a entertainment spot to go and enjoy yourself, and man, there is a lot of infrastructure and things that need to be done to make that possible.
I think two of the markets that I've always heard, over the last couple of years is the Asian market. Let's get more focus on the Asian market. Okay, well, if we get more Asian people to bet on harness racing, that's great. But last time I checked, Jay, Major League Baseball and basketball were pretty big in Asia,
Yeah.
So now the Asian market that's in the U.S., they already know basketball and baseball, so they're gonna bet on that first over horse racing, right?
If harness racing is going to keep the same business model as it does right now, it's going to need to become I think the first thing your parimutuel betting needs to become global quickly. I mean, you need to be able to get France, Sweden, Asia, everywhere into your parimutuel pools as soon as possible to build up your pools, because gamblers, if they see a good bargain, they're going to go after it. And if your pools are huge and there's value in betting, the guys that you're going to you want to target, apparently with the way your business model is now, they're going to need that to attract them. So that, in my opinion, if you're going to not do what we want to do and try to become entertainment and do that, which you should do both, but whatever, you need to become global ASAP.
I don't even know how. Well, the other market that I was going to say was college kids. College kids got a lot of expendable money, and they just want to, they could blow $50 here and there. And because the tracks are not an appetizing place to go,
yeah,
but bars are, and they're already betting on. I mean, they're gonna bet. They're already betting on fantasy, Now they're going to bet on the NBA. So any of the small amount of extra non-betting money that they had that you were trying to get into harness racing, that's gone. Forget about it, because now they've made I could bet on my fantasy team DraftKings. I could have a fantasy team season long. I could do a daily fantasy, and I could bet on the games, all legal, all with lower takeouts than harness racing. I mean, they're not even gonna. You're gonna be like, why would I bet that over there? No, I got everything right here. I got everything I want right here. Pick your sport and go crazy betting on it.
Yeah, I mean, this plays right into the kind of the entertainment infrastructure that needs to get done. Hey, with college kids, if you give them a place that's lively with cheap booze and it's fun, they're going to come, and they will. Keeneland has already shown that it's very easy to do this. You make a spot where people are like, this is the place to go and have fun. They will go. And so, but if it's the grandstands of most harness racing tracks, which are dark and boring and quiet and not very comfortable or anything like that, they're not going to come. And it's not just college kids. Many people are not going to, but this is a great example that college kids just want a place to hang out and have fun and drink, and they will spend money. I get the whole broke college kid thing, but they're half broke because they just spend money on stupid stuff.
Yeah.
So be their option to do that. And right now, there's a lot of things that have to change immediately to get that done. And if you want to succeed, it's going to have to get done.
Jay, there hasn't been many stories over the last couple of years that I really thought to myself, whatever. But this actually kind of got my heart rate up, because it was like, oh, I see the end of it, and there's a big boot coming, and I just don't know. Nobody's talking about it. Nobody has made comments on it. I haven't heard anybody in horse racing publicly say, hey, guys, this is a problem. And because what do we think? We're in our own little cocoons that, oh, that's not going to affect us. No, this is going to directly affect us. Forget about casinos and not having slot money. No, this is going to take away all of the revenue, the gambling, the slot money, because now I think what's going to happen is casinos are going to realize, wait, forget about slot money. We want the sports betting money, because that's the market.
Yeah.
That's the big market. That's the only market that isn't around right now. Poker's big, yes, whatever, but forget about the slot welfare money that we're getting is going to dwindle out fast in a couple of years. Just because it's going to shift to sports betting. Casinos are going to forget about slots. I don't need slots. I want a big sports book. That's what they want.
Yeah, and then what's going to happen is harness racing is going to be more worried about getting the legislation to take a cut of sports betting instead of being progressive and becoming competition for it.
Yeah,
and it's just going to go into the same thing of, well, the slot welfare was originally just supposed to prop up the industry until it gets back on its feet. Well, now it's just sitting there, being spoon-fed a percentage of the slot welfare. So instead of worrying about just keep getting your spoon to be a little bigger, get the fuck back up.
There's no way that any legislature in their right mind, after what has happened over the last 10 years with every track, with every portion of our industry in North America, that they're going to say, you're absolutely right that they're going to cry, hey, we deserve that. No, you don't deserve anything.
No.
You do not deserve any portion of the sports book money at all. And I'm fully like, you don't deserve it at all. And it's no legislator is going to say, let's give them a portion of it. No, they don't need you. They don't need the sports back, especially when the NBA is, backing it and saying, no, we want to crush every other thing. We will maybe allow, the major sports but we want sports betting and we want a cut of it.
There is no way that because you're going to say, oh, we need it. We just need to get back up on our feet. They're going to say, no. Look at the past decade. We gave you a chance to get back up on your feet and you failed. So there is no, I don't care what you're going to do, because first off, you're going to be battling against casinos and sports gambling and lobbying against politicians. Good luck. You have no chance. You have absolutely no chance.
So I just think that this is a bigger issue that we all need to be discussing and figuring out, are there other ways we can make money? Because you can't just keep going the same route, because now you're going to have even more competition, infinitely more competition than you could ever deal with. And you're not just yourselves anymore. It's not just you can only bet on horse racing. No, everything's going to be around. And this isn't not going to get passed either. This is going to get passed in the states that listen, if harness racing was in Alabama, I would say, yeah, it's a possibility that, this doesn't get passed for the major sports. No, this is in New York, in Illinois, in Indiana. This is going where there's already major sports and major sports teams that are bigger than you. The Giants are going to get involved at the Meadowlands. They're going to push the They may tear down the Meadowlands to put up a mile-long track of kiosks to sports bet on. That's what they may do, because that probably is more valuable than the racing that goes on at the Meadowlands or at Yonkers. Forget about the track. We want 40,000 sports betting kiosks because we think people will come. If you told me that the only place I could go to, the place an NFL bet, was actually at the stadium, you know how many people would show up for that? Forget about on your phones.
A massive sports book would be more valuable than the Meadowlands. I hate to break it to everybody.
Yeah.
If they wanted to just put that in, and that's what, it would be a more profitable adventure than the current racing track.
I mean, they'll never actually do that because, again, everything could be done on your phone. But, I mean, that's the reality, and I think we all need to face it instead of turtling up, put our Murphy blinds on, hey, this isn't going to happen, we'll still have we'll still be fine. No, this is coming, and, I don't really know what else we can talk about through, on this topic, Jay, but we all got to watch out for it.
Yeah, sorry for the doom and gloom, but that's just how serious it is. I hate to break it to everybody, but I will be... If harness racing somehow survived the storm of that by staying completely the same, I will be absolutely shocked, and you guys can all laugh at me, but I am pretty damn confident in what we're saying.
Happy Rusev Day, Jay.
Happy Rusev Day to you, Ryan.
How about that? Does that make you feel a little bit better?
Yeah, sure. Rusev always makes me feel better.
So I'm Ryan Macedonio. You can find everything at TrotCast. Visit TrotCast.com, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all that stuff. Everything's at TrotCast. I make it easy for you. All the content is there, YouTube, all that fun stuff. Jay, take us away.
I am Jay Hochseller. You can find me on Twitter at JDHarness. Thank you for listening and join the revolution.